And we're live after a little delay.
In a matter of speaking.
Well, yeah. We have some audio issues going on, but we're not quite sure what's causing them.
Yeah, so if I play any audio back, you will not hear it. But you should.
Maybe it doesn't matter, but Hindenburg is not up yet for me. Okay. Does it? I don't know if that
I'll put it back up for the third time. Window. This worked last week. I don't know why not this week.
Did you say there was an update to Loopback or?
I did an update to Loopback as part of trying to diagnose what was wrong.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Here we are.
Yep.
Hey, share the picture. Do you have the picture from today?
Let me look. We were remote, so it should be there.
So today we had the chance to meet Teg, the guy that's been doing all the help for me, rebuild the server for me, the guy that was on Chit Chat talking about his work as a professor at the technical college, and he does the Deal Weekly podcast. Disneyland Weekly podcast, and he was at Disneyland. So that's him in the middle in the gray shirt. That's his husband James to the left, to my left, and then that's Pat Dengler on the other side. And they were at Disneyland. They were out from Wisconsin, and they had a meetup scheduled there that they publicized through their podcast, through the podcast Instagram feed. Pat listens to them completely coincidentally, nothing to do with me getting to meet him through the internets. And so she told us they were going to be doing this little meetup. And so we met up. We surprised him.
Yeah, it was a fun little meetup.
It was super fun. So
and it sounded like you might have Teg back on.
Teg, yeah.
Teg, I'm sorry.
I want to have him on because he understands how to use styles in Microsoft Word to do some pretty cool stuff. And I've never seen anybody succeed. Well, Steve, you said you used to be able to do it.
I used it back when I was working back in the old days. But I don't know if I mastered it.
Anyway, I think it would be good and comedic because I hate Microsoft Word so much. I think it'd be fun.
It is a small world, Mike.
Nicely done, Mike.
I don't think you've done roll call yet.
I have not. We've got Kevin and Bruce and Frank and Mike and Jill and Lynn and Ed and John and Ron Hybe. Rhymes with Einstein. And so we bring up...
Rhymes with Einstein. Yes, she is only using Markdown, Ed.
Yep. Just Markdown. Actually, Ed, we might have a couple of projects for you. We might need some wood assistance.
Wood projects. Should we talk about? Well, we don't have time.
No, we don't have time.
We've run out of time.
We'll tell Ed about it.
Yeah.
Some repairs on the house might need to be made. All right, I think I should get. Oh, you're in the shop.
In the shop now.
All right, let me give you the specs.
Yeah, we'll just put them here in Discord, and you can make it.
Well, let's just put it this way: Kepler started eating parts of the house.
Yeah, and we've had him for 9 months, and he never exhibited this behavior.
Out of the blue, started eating things.
He's got a lot of chew toys, so we're not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I've locked him in here with me right now, so we'll see if that works. All right, let's get started. We are late. Luckily, I'm not. We should still be on time, I think. Here we go. You won't hear playback of music, but you should hear my voice. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, October 19th, 2025, and this is show number 1067. And look at that, there's nothing recorded.
Oh. But you know what? It was red while you were recording.
Was it?
Well, red just indicates it's in the process of recording, but if the audio is 0, it will still turn red, right? Do a little test right now. Just say something.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
So it's red. So it thinks it's recording, but it could be recording nothing.
This is fun. Yeah. This will make the podcast kind of quiet.
It's going to be.
I mean, I can always do this. That does make it That's weird. It was working a minute ago. Successfully heard no music. You're doing it right, Ron.
Now there is audio level coming in, I see.
Right. Because I've switched it to just my pure mic without, so that is, that's smelling a little bit loopbacky.
Loopy backy.
Well, a little audio hijacky, a little loopbacky.
They interact so tightly.
Yeah. I mean, this worked just fine in the recording the podcast stuff this week. But okay, that's fine. We'll start over. Here we go. What are you doing? Why are you... What? Oh, record. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, October 19th, 2025, and this is show number 1067.
You're going
now
red.
You see the little lines?
But you're going red, pretty deep into the red. You may be clipping, because you don't have your normal filters on, right, in this path, this new path?
Let me listen. Yeah, I think it's correcting itself, though. I think it's okay. Thank you, though. But did you notice how it had little vertical lines when this was
I could see
properly?
Yeah, also, the bottom bar, your audio bar at the bottom,
Yeah,
is responsive now. But that's going red.
I understand, but playback is fine.
All right, good.
I mean, I can... What? No. All right. Well, this week I had a total... No. This week I had a total blast hanging out with the gang over at the Daily Tech News Show. Sarah Lane, Tom Merritt, Rob Dunwood, and Len Peralta. In the episode entitled Windows 10, Now with Insecurity Complex, it's actually DTNS Live 5101 for October 16th, we talked about subjects like how Pinterest is allowing users to choose how much AI-generated content they see, what it means that Windows 10 officially stopped being supported on October 14th, how Netflix is trying to steal some of YouTube's market share by bringing video podcasts to the platform, and then my topic, which you might have heard before, why you might consider getting a USB cable tester and multimeter. Now, my favorite part of that topic was how cool they thought it was that I had just that silly thin Kindle screen at the end, still with words printed on it, and that I'm going to frame it. Anyway, I really enjoyed my time with them all, and it was especially fun to get to hang out with Rob Dunwood after such a long time. I really miss the SMR podcast guys since they've kind of pod faded. Now, Rob swears they're starting back up again, and I can't wait. If you want to hear the fun and wisdom of DTNS, check out DTNS Live for October 16th in your podcatcher of choice, or follow the link in the show notes to dailytechnewsshow.com. A lot for a preview?
Yeah, look at it. Look how long this Discord
geez.
preview is.
Well, that's what they've put into the, that's interesting. All right. This is going to be fun. This is going to be the shortest review I've ever done. Some upbeat music that you won't get to hear. Let me open it. We have one shorty and one long episode. This part of sucks. Windows 10, it stinks. Okay, great minds. All right, here we go. And you know I can make a long story out of a short one better than just about anyone, but I can't think out of a way to stretch this one out. Okay, here goes possibly the shortest review ever done in 20 years of the NosillaCast. A few months ago, Bart and I were having our usual banter before starting a recording, and he saw me blow at my keyboard to get some dust or something off of it. He told me to buy the OXO Sweep and Swipe laptop cleaner. This little plastic tool is about the size of the palm of your hand. It has two purposes, as the name says, to sweep and swipe to clean your laptop. On the side of the... Okay, I've stuttered too many times. On the side, on the... On the side of the device is a little button that slides in a slot, and it pushes out a little brush on one end. The brush is made of very, very fine, very soft hairs, which are perfect for sweeping across a laptop screen, an iPad screen, or a keyboard to swipe away dust, or in my case, cat hairs. Grace, my cat, loves to walk around my desk while I'm working, so it's a constant battle. I still use my little desk vacuum, but sometimes it's easier to use the brush to get it out of my keyboard. Now, it's not only satisfying to pop the brush in and out, the hairs are so thin and soft I find myself playing with it just to feel that gentle brush. If you're prone to snacking at your desk, you're going to love this for your keyboard. Now, the other end isn't quite as satisfying to engage. There's a plastic cap that when removed, and I'm going to remove it right now while I'm talking here, it's a little bit hard to get off. It reveals an elongated octagon tightly covered with a thin red microfiber cloth. So it's like a hard thing with this microfiber cloth on the end. The idea is to use this end to wipe smudges off of your laptop or tablet screen. Now, the plastic cap comes off fairly easily, but it's just not as much fun as sliding out the brush end. To use the microfiber cloth to swipe away smudges, I think you're going to need some sort of moisture. I tend to just breathe humid air on my iPad screen, which works okay, but on a larger screen, you'll need some sort of spray. The OXO Sweep and Swipe laptop cleaner is only $15, direct from OXO or many major retailers, so it's a perfect stocking stuffer. Add it to your holiday list to help out people who know they can't find you a tech gadget you don't already have, or buy one for all of the nerds in your life. I have two of them, one I use every morning to sweep off dust and cat hairs from my iPad, and one at my desk for the keyboard. If nothing else, releasing the brush and sliding it back in makes for a very satisfying fidget tool. How's that?
Short and sweet.
Yep.
So Jill pointed out that'd be good for car screens too. You know, our display.
Yeah, it gets dusty. It's not as good on the smudges. I wish this worked better on the smudges. It's like you got to really rub on it. It might work on car screens, but the dust thing, it's so soft. It's really soft. So, but I don't like taking the cap off. It's harder than it needs to be. But this is easy. Anyway,
I think that's kind of one of those fiddle things for you.
That's what I said. It's a good fidget switch.
That's it.
Fidget tool.
Fidget thing.
All right. I'll show you. All right. Settle in for a big one here, guys.
Don't you? The little hand vacuum.
Sorry?
Don't you also have a mini vacuum that you can move
Did
around?
you listen to this review at all?
No.
Because I brought up the little vacuum. I said that I still use my little vacuum.
You do. Good.
Okay.
There we go.
So that's when I want to get hairs off the desk. But
Right.
when there's stuff in the keyboard, it doesn't do very good at that. So it's almost
Not a
like you're here
strong
listening. Okay, I can't wait till you get to this one. You're not going to listen to much of this. Okay, let's see. Happy, upbeat kids. All right. This is long and nerdy. All right, here we go. I recently wrote an article entitled Exploring Markdown Export from Notes. As I often do, I included a lot of screenshots in the article to illustrate what I was describing. But there were some problems with several of my screenshots, and they were caused by changes in macOS and iPadOS 26 with windowing. The first of the changes is that Windows now have an even rounded, more evener rounded. The first of the changes is that Windows now have even rounder corners than before, which can cause some unfortunate side effects depending on how you take the screenshot. The second change is that often one or more edges of a window will have no border whatsoever when captured as a screenshot. Before I get into my discovery on this topic, let's start with a perfect example of the problems encountered because of these design changes by Apple. In the Markdown article, I used a screenshot of an Apple Notes window on iPadOS showing everything I'd written in preparation to export to Markdown. The ugliest part of the screenshot is that in the right top and bottom corners, the screenshot shows a black arced wedge where the rounded Notes window has been squared off. The left top corner isn't there at all, as it blends white into the white web page. The right side of the window is white too, so you can't see where the screenshot ends and the white background begins. It's also of note that the left side sort of comes and goes as you go down the sides. Sometimes there's a gray shadow and sometimes it's pure white. Overall, the whole thing's a real good look. Now, the screenshot in the Markdown article, like I said, was taken on my iPad. There's 3 methods to take full screen screenshots on the iPad. If you have a Magic Keyboard, you can hold down Command-Shift-4 to take a screenshot. You can also take a screenshot by holding down the power button and either the up or down volume button. Finally, if you have an Apple Pencil, you can drag on the screen from the bottom left corner diagonally toward the upper right, and it'll take a screenshot. We've now captured the entire screen, but we want only that one floating window with its lovely rounded corners. Interestingly, when the screenshot comes up and offers drag handles to resize, those drag handles have rounded corners. You would hope that would mean that when cropped, the resulting image would still have those rounded corners. Sadly, as you drag the round handles to magically snap to the edges of the window you want to capture, they stop being rounded and they become sharp corners. If they stayed rounded, then we would get a nice rounded rectangle screenshot, but instead we get colored wedges on the corners. The resulting screenshot is distractingly ugly. While the disappearing edges seem to be more of a problem when capturing iPadOS windows, the ugly wedge corners were happening for me with macOS screenshots as well. When I got frustrated with this problem, I posted a question to Mastodon asking the collective, what are we going to do about these terrible wedge corners? Not even addressing the disappearing edges yet. We focused on Mac screenshots in the discussion that ensued, but I'll circle back to a solution for both when I get to the end of the story. I got help from a whole lot of people, but I'm going to really concentrate on the contributions of just 2. The first is Ken Case, CEO of Omni Group, and an all-around terrific guy. I also got help from Dr. Drang, who's been a writer, scripter in the fabric of the Apple nerd community for a very long time. Before explaining their ideas, though, let me talk about how I normally take screenshots on the Mac. I use a couple of different screenshot utilities. My primary tool of choice is Shotter from shotter.cc, that's spelled SHOTTR, and I also use CleanShotX from cleanshot.com, and you can also get that one through Setapp. That's kind of like a second favorite. I tend towards Shotter because I prefer its annotation tools, but I still use CleanShotX regularly. From time to time, I'll even use Apple's built-in screenshot utility, screenshot.app, which you can find in Applications/Utilities. If I take a windowed screenshot with Shotter on macOS, I get the dreaded wedge corners. Ken Case said he had a screenshot process that wasn't giving him the wedge corners, and that was using the built-in screenshot.app. He explained his process, and it starts with using the keystrokes for the built-in tool. Let's review those right quick so his explanation is going to make sense. If you open System Settings, Keyboard, and look for the Keyboard Shortcuts button, you'll get a list of Apple features that have keyboard shortcuts, one of which is screenshots. When you select it, it shows you all of the different options for keyboard shortcuts. Now, the keystroke that Ken uses, let's tighten that up a little bit. Now, the keystroke that Ken uses is Control-Shift-Command-4. That lets you capture an area to the clipboard instead of making a file on your desktop. After initiating this keystroke, you get crosshairs to select a region, but if you use the spacebar, you can hover over a window until it turns blue and shows a little camera icon, and then simply click the window. Now, if you haven't changed the system defaults, this process would give you a screenshot with a drop shadow. So Ken adds one more trick to this sequence to change that. Instead of clicking on the selected window, he option clicks the window, which captures the window without adding a drop shadow. As usual, I've made this sound a lot more complicated than it really is in practice. Now, the story might have stopped here, but the good news is, after he described his process, I didn't follow his instructions properly in my initial testing. That led to more discovery. I read as far as where he said he used the built-in screenshot tool, and then I just started my experiments. I launched screenshot.app, and I used the floating tool palette instead. If you use the button to capture selected window, hover over a window, and option click to eliminate the drop shadow, you'll get a floating thumbnail in the bottom right of the screen. So far, I was doing essentially the same as Ken's instructions without using a keystroke, but then I kind of wandered off of his instructions. I clicked on the floating thumbnail, which brought up the screenshot in Quick Look. I clicked on the share icon, and I selected copy. You can also Command-C from Quick Look to put it into the clipboard. Or you can right-click on the floating thumbnail and choose Save to Clipboard. All three do the exact same thing. Now here's the crazy thing. Pasting that screenshot into a document shows the ugly corner wedges. Now, before reading Ken's carefully written instructions, I confirmed that my screenshot tool of choice, Shotter, also creates those black wedges when I copy a window. CleanShot X, on the other hand, does not get the black wedges, or colored wedges depending on the application you're running. It copies with lovely rounded corners. At this point, Dan Morin joined in the fun on Mastodon with a good question. He asked whether maybe the rounded ones are PNGs and the squared off ones might be JPEGs. Now, PNGs support transparency, allowing for the square corners to disappear, while JPEG does not. His question made sense, but since these are in my clipboard, how do I know their file types without saving, and that might change their file types? Dr. Drang described a really nerdy way to find out. This is so cool. He suggested I open Script Editor, another app buried in Applications/Utilities, and then run the AppleScript command get clipboard info. I ran the commands on the two ways to capture the image, one that gets wedgies and one that does not, and the one with the transparent corners returned as the first result class space PNG. The one that got the wedgies returned TIFF space picture. Now, TIFFs don't support transparency either, so this is a clue, but it doesn't tell us why. Around this time, Dr. Drang posted a link to an article he wrote on his blog, And Now It's All This, about how he automated taking screenshots using Python. You can read it over at leancrew.com. His Python script takes a screenshot using the command line tool screen capture and gives it rounded corners, even if the screenshot was squared off, and then puts it on a nice, narrow colored border. In his post, he not only gives us the source code, but he walks through how it works and explains every single step of it. It's really, really cool. It's definitely worth reading. Well, this inspired me to find another way to solve the corner wedgie problem and the other problem we've been neglecting, the disappearing edges of windows and screenshots. First, I penned a gentle email to Max, the developer of Shotter, and so far, interestingly, he has not been able to reproduce the problem on his end. That's curious. Now, we're holding out hope that the problem can be traced back to some setting I've fiddled with on my Mac, because I do tend to fiddle a bit with these things. In the meantime, though, Shotter has a tool in the paid version called Backdrop. It's a nice way to add a beautiful background for an image, or you can create a boring single-color backdrop. The important feature is that you can change the size of the backdrop to be very thin, to the point that it looks more like a border than a backdrop. It also has an outer corner radius slider, which, not outer corner, outer radius, atomic wedgie, nice. It also has an outer radius slider, which carves off the corners of any rectangular window and gives them a gentle arc. I dragged the slider until the radius pretty much matched the radius of the new Apple OS 26 windows. Finally, I chose a medium gray color for the backdrop. I don't use backdrops regularly, so every time I come back to Shotter to add a backdrop, all of these settings will be maintained. I only have to hit the backdrop button or hit the letter K, and I've got a border on my image ready to export. But then Dr. Drang suggested I could probably add the border with a tool called RetroBatch. You may remember Alistair Jenks introduced us to RetroBatch way back in 2019, and I wrote a post about how I use it to manipulate images in 2023. RetroBatch is an app written by Gus Mueller of Flying Meat fame. You may know him from his app Pixelmator. RetroBatch and its big sister RetroBatch Pro is an app that lets you drag and drop little nodes onto a canvas to do various operations on images. RetroBatch has a border node where you can specify a border thickness and corner radius. I tried a few different strategies to build a workflow, such as having it read a file from the Finder and write back to the same folder in Finder. I had to tack on the word -border, so I didn't write over the original. But then I realized when I'm using this, I don't really want to create a bunch of files. I want to capture a screenshot to the clipboard and then be ready to paste it or save it with the border already applied. I ended up with a very simple workflow in RetroBatch. I started with a clipboard node and I set its action to read from clipboard. Next, I put in the add border node. I set the color to a medium gray and the width to 2 pixels. When it came time to add a corner radius to the border, I got a little bit stuck. How big is the radius of the new OS windows? I could have taken a screenshot of a window and measured it using a graphics tool, but instead I asked ChatGPT to tell me what radius Apple defines for macOS 26 windows in their developer documentation. Guess what? ChatGPT says it doesn't appear to be defined by Apple anywhere. I verified this by asking my friend Steve Harris of Reinvented Software fame, developer of Keep It and Feeder. He confirmed that Apple has not defined the radius. He explained that if a window has a toolbar, the radius is large, and he measured it at around 50 pixels for 2x screens. But he said that if there's no toolbar on a window, the radius shrinks, and he measured that radius at 30 pixels for a 2x screen. He invited me to see the difference by toggling on and off the toolbar in Finder windows. If you just open a Finder window and go to View, Hide Toolbar, you'll see the radius shrinks if you hide it. Now, around the same time as Steve was responding, ChatGPT told me the big radius was 52 pixels, which is pretty close to what Steve measured. ChatGPT went on to explain that in RetroBatch's Add Border node, I would have to add the 2-pixel border value to that 52 pixels, so I should set it to 54 pixels as a corner radius value. Now, the third and final node was as simple as the first, another clipboard node with its action set to Write to Clipboard. Again, I've made this sound complicated in my attempt to be clear. I have 3 nodes: read from clipboard, add border, write to clipboard. Very simple. I could have stopped there. I could have captured a screenshot to the clipboard, double-clicked on the little RetroBatch workflow app I created, and then pasted the screenshot with its new rounded border. I wanted a wee bit more automation, so I created a tiny Keyboard Maestro macro that simply runs my RetroBatch app with a keystroke. Now I can capture a screenshot to the clipboard, hit my keyboard shortcut, and then paste, and I've got my fancy screenshot with a nice gray rounded border. Wedgies are gone because the rounded borders carves them off, and those white windows no longer disappear into my white web pages. As it turns out, this process doesn't require a window with the exact or inexact radius I've specified. I can take an area screenshot, which has square corners, and apply my rounded border to it, and it'll match the style of a windowed screenshot. If I take a screenshot of a window without a toolbar, it'll just change the 30-pixel radius to 52 pixels. I might start to run into problems where it's carving things off on the corners, so we'll see how well that works. But this means I can take screenshots with my iPad, crop in on a window, airdrop it to my Mac, and then run my little RetroBatch app against it, and I'll get the same rounded rectangles with a nice border. Losing the wedgies on iPadOS screenshots makes me unreasonably happy. Now, the bottom line is that while I do like the new roundy windows in iPadOS and macOS, I think they're very pretty. Capturing the windows and making nice screenshots is more challenging than it used to be. Researching the issues was great fun, especially with the help of folks like Ken Case and Dr. Drang. I also want to give a shout out to some other folks who chimed in to help. We had Ben Etherington, Wayne Dixon, Callum, and Simon C. Hulse. I now have a nice little automation to clean up my screenshots, but I have a feeling I might dive even deeper. Did you know there's a command line version of the screenshot app? Actually, remember I mentioned that Dr. Drang uses the command line version of the screenshot app, and it's all done from the terminal. If you could do it on the terminal, it means you can write a script for it. If we can write a script, that means we could put a script to take the screenshots themselves into Keyboard Maestro right before it calls the RetroBatch workflow. It could initiate the screenshot, let me choose the window, and then copy a nice rounded border of the screenshot all in one keystroke. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if the open source library ImageMagick could do the rounded border, making the whole thing a script. I realized as I was reading this, I never explained how it was Dr. Drang was Ken Case was getting rounded rectangles when he took the screenshots and I didn't. Never went back and figured that out. This was a very complicated one to write up.
Yeah. But so you've got a pretty smooth workflow now, it sounds like.
Yeah. So the regular audience doesn't know, but since you're here live, you can know I have automated the entire thing in a script. I've got ImageMagick and I don't have RetroBatch involved at all. Let me, let's see, keyboard. So I can take a screenshot and have the border applied instantly.
Unfortunately, I was pasting in these images showing with and without the little wedgies.
Uh-huh.
And Discord has a dark background, so a lot of the problems don't show up with the black background.
Oh, I can see it. Like if you look at the last one you did, you can see a little brown corner in the gray in the left.
But there's more than that. If you look at your blog post, there are 4 corners that are very sharp and
So look at the
not-
last one you put in that says it's the Apple Note that says heading 1.
uh-huh.
The very last one.
Yeah.
Click on it. I can see gray in the upper left. I can see brown in the bottom left and bottom right.
Yeah, I guess you can. They're just more evident with a white background. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, they did have some people had trouble seeing what I was talking about in the Mastodon for the same reason.
Dark background.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, I guess you can change the theme to light, I assume, in Discord. It seems to
I don't know.
default to dark.
Yeah, Discord seems to like being dark.
Dark mode, yeah. I think because it's gamer, it comes from the gamer community, and gaming tends to be dark background.
Okay, this is going to be funny. Only a few people will care about this.
This is not a playback, is it?
Nope. Your message is too long. Never mind.
Oh, now we now we want to know. Can you break it up?
No.
Ah,
And I can't get the window.
it's a quantum of message. Indivisible.
No, if I could do this, why am I not able to? I'm trying to change the size of a window or of a shell script window.
Oh. Oh, you want to actually show what the shell script text, the text of the shell script is?
Yeah. Actually, I'll just get a piece of it. Here we go. So this is all we had to, all I had to do in Image Magic to create, whoop. There's the single command in Image Magic to make a rounded rectangle corner.
I did your little experiment that Steve Harris suggested, just changing with and without the toolbar.
Yeah.
And it's really clear. It pops out how those corners are changing size.
Yeah, 50 pixels to 30.
It feels un-Apple-like. It doesn't feel like an Apple thing to do that.
Yeah.
They're so consistent with their style guides. Everything is weird now with this OS.
Yeah. I've ran into a couple bugs.
Yeah.
Into a couple of bugs. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that's Mac OS. Might be.
Well, we don't.
It could be the interaction of loopback or audio hijack with Mac OS.
Yeah, what I don't understand. I mean, it worked with Adam earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
It worked before I went down to get a snack. You and I were communicating.
And you had the same audio.
Yes, I
setup.
came back and you said I can't hear you.
Did Kepler get at the controls?
No,
Maybe he bit through the cable. No.
He's sound asleep. All right, I'm going to panhandle for some money. You never stopped for a snack? Never should have, maybe. One of the ways... Should have paid attention. One of the ways that made it easier for you to support the show was by creating a way for you to make a one-time donation where you can just use a credit card with no sign-up process. That service lets you buy me a virtual coffee, or many coffees if you like, at $5 a piece. It's easy to do, and the URL is easy to remember. It's simply podfeed.com/donate. Join all of the other lovely people who've bought me coffee since I set it up, and then you can feel good that you're supporting independent, non-ad supported, non-privacy invaded podcasting. Chit chat. We are almost done, guys. Especially since I can't play it back for you.
Right. This is going to be a quiet segment. I'll put up the audios for Hindenburg so they can at least see it.
That's just mean. Oh my gosh, the Family Circle. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. Is it still out there? It must be.
Let's see. So I need some chit chat music. The paper shredder. Many times when we leave the house, we go into our potty closet and pull tissues out of the trash, leave them in chew pieces. I told our vet that our dog eats everything, and boy, actually, this was a specialist, an internist. You don't want to challenge an internist to show that there's dogs that eat weirder things than your dog.
Yeah.
It was...
Because they've been there. They've been inside to retrieve things.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they don't.
Well, she said the most common thing is socks.
Which I can't imagine. He does not chew on any clothing items, including shoes. Maybe we shouldn't say this. This is... Because he didn't chew on these other things either.
Right. I don't know. Would
TV
you rather...
remotes?
Would you rather he ate TV remotes or clothes or the house?
Yeah, the trouble is you can't hide the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Frustrating.
I'm going to play back, but you won't be able to hear this.
Is it a chit chat?
Shh.
Oh.
You'll never know.
I'll give him the link.
Okay, there we go. So I got to tell you, this was really interesting. I don't know why, but Adam had a reason why. We talked over each other a lot in this one. He said it was because he needed to refer to his article a lot, and his article was on a different screen than where I was over here. He's mic forward looking at his article, and he couldn't see when I wanted to talk. And so we talked over each other a lot. So I had to do a ton of editing. And, but as I listened to it, it was the most joyful editing. We laugh a lot when we're talking together. And he's got such a delightful laugh. He's so funny. And I probably heard us laugh 40 or 50 times as I was no, I'm lying. 30 times as I went through editing this. So you just really know that we have a lot of fun together. It's
and you
really
took all that out?
Why do you ask that?
You said you were editing. What were you editing? Oh, the talking over, not the laughter.
Listen with your ears, honey. Put on your listening ears.
Listening's fine. It's the processing.
No, hearing is fine. It's listening that you're not doing.
Not always.
Just close your chin. All right, here we go. Shh. I don't like licky noises. Okay, you can come up in a minute. Let me finish, and then you can say hi. Oh, no? Not yet. Here we go. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeet.com anytime you like? If you have a question or a suggestion, just send it on over. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. You can follow me on Mastodon at podfeet.com/Mastodon. If you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube, you can go to podfeet.com/YouTube. If you want to join in the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack. And that's great because you can talk not to me, well, you can talk to me, but you can also talk to all of the other lovely NosillaCastaways. You can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation, like I mentioned earlier, at podfeet.com/donate, or you can buy me a coffee. Or you can use PayPal at podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. All right.
The fry was strong.
It was a long... I heard that. It's a big fry. Outro, which you won't hear, but I got to place it there. You want to count chapter marks for me, dear?
All right. I count 5.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5. Did we see Jeff Foxworthy live? I feel like we did. Oh, I know. He lives in a nearby town near some friends of ours.
Yeah, I think we did see him.
Did you do all the doodads we can hear, sound icons and stuff? I think so. Let me check my chapter marks. There's a happy kids. There's a happy kids. There's some money, and there's chit chat music. Yes, I did. Thank you, Jill. That was a very good thing to check. So I will have to figure out what is going on here.
Yeah. So when you record with Adam, for instance, you're not going out to an audience. So why would the setup be the same? Because you still have to combine your live voice with some playback?
The building blocks are the same. So I use Audio Hijack to record, but Audio Hijack looks fine. It's actually here. We got a few minutes. I'm going to share a different screen. Stop. And I'm going to share a different screen. I'm going to share this. Okay, let that in. Okay, so this is Audio Hijack. And you can see when I'm talking, see all that those yellow lines moving there and everything? So the first block is my microphone, and then I've got a couple of filters, a bunch of filters, and a couple of meters, and then a volume block that I don't really mess with. And then on the top row, you can see it going out to a virtual output device called Al's mic. And Al's mic is it's a virtual audio output device. Well, it becomes a virtual audio source to other things, but I combined that with what do I call it? No.
What's the bottom output?
Goes to my headphones, so I can monitor my own voice. So I'm gonna stop sharing that one, and now I'm gonna share loopback. Okay, let that one in. So Al's mic is just a virtual audio source, so it's just pass through. I don't remember that this is supposed to be moving or not. I don't think it is. But if we look at something like my mic plus voiceover, you can see my Elgato Wave XLR moving. That's one I'm not using. But I have one here called YTL input, and it's not moving. That's not functioning right now.
YouTube live input? YTL?
Yeah, I call it YouTube live input. So what it does is it takes Hindenburg, and if I hit play on Hindenburg, you won't be able to see it. But if I hit play, you'll see the little left-right things bouncing, and I think that's why you're hearing it.
Yeah.
So my mic, that's not coming through.
Yeah.
Al's mic is not picking up for some reason.
Yep.
And I don't know why, and that's why you can't hear me on that.
And Al's mic is the upper left, and you sure those would not?
No, I think maybe they should be moving.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, left, right channels.
If I turn it off.
What if you reconstruct it, just make that pass-through thing again?
Oh, it's super hard, Steve. Let's see.
Can you drag some blocks
through? So that's a pass-through. That should be moving.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And that's hijack?
Loopback. That's loopback. So yeah, and this is a new version of loopback.
Yeah, that's weird.
I updated it while we were talking, while we were trying to figure out what was wrong.
But the problem was occurring before you updated it. So it's
Correct.
not necessarily the update.
But it was also not occurring before I updated it. Before I went downstairs.
Got it.
Yeah, so this is loopback 2.4.7.
Well, that's going to require a little bit of investigation.
Yeah, maybe another reboot. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
Smack across the head.
All right. Well, I think we're done.
We are. We managed to stretch this out to an hour.
Oh, that's pretty good.
15 minutes of silence.
It's yeah. Well, we tried. Are there any uncovered action items?
Next week we will be here.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we should be And no big Apple events next week.
Nope. Nothing that I know of. All right.
All right.
Well, I think we need to wave everybody
I thought you were
goodbye.
going to show him Kepler.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Kepler did want to come up. All right, buddy. All right, buddy, come here. Okay, come here. Come here. All right. Say hi,
He's
buddy.
probably like 55 by now.
Well, was he 52 the last time?
Yeah.
Oh, he's typing things on my keyboard, though. Say hi. Say, I'm a home dog. I'm a home dog. Actually, you paste in your Sora video of him. That was hilarious.
Oh, boy, do I.
You have that, right?
I'm pretty sure I saved that. Let's see here. Yes. Hopefully it's not too big for
I don't think it'll be.
Discord.
So,
all right.
If you haven't heard of Sora before, it's a crazy powerful AI generation tool. You give it a couple of pictures, or you give it like a picture of yourself, a couple of positions, and your voice, and you barely train it at all, and it makes crazy videos.
So the prequel, to set the stage, we took Kepler to his vet appointment on his birthday, and
How
so
mean is that?
and they gave him a little hat. Well, this is his comment about the hat. Oh, I don't hear the voice. Oh, because I have Discord.
So that's a video, you guys.
So if you're in Discord, you should be able to play that.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I could hear it.
Good. All right.
All right,
well,
everybody.
Maybe we'll end on that.
Yeah.
Happy note.
Wish me luck getting my system getting my system fixed.
Good luck,
All right.
Podfeet.
All right, everybody. Bye.